Can you hear me all okay?
And now we can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thought I did turn on and off again there. Welcome, y'all. So we've got our live stream just started, I think. And we've got so Tara, Joe, Devin, Joe. Joe, you may be in let me double check something for you, Joe. Feel like you might be in another room, but let me check here. Yes. So Joe, check out. Oh my gosh. Can you check out room 515? The 515 room, Joe? I think you're scheduled in that room on the program.
Can you send me the link? I don't have that link.
Sure.
So, to
Mhm.
is it in the chat?
I'm about to send it, Joe.
Oh.
Sorry. One sec. Go. It's that one, Joe. All right, thanks. Okay. So Tara, Devin, let me check real quick. So Calvin.
Am I not supposed to be here? Can you send me the link?
Oh, hold on. Let me check the other. Oh, hold on. Let me open. I just closed it out. Sorry. I'm just trying to see who's in the intro seminar and who's in the this one. And the other one's pretty, it's got a lot of people going on. So if they tell you to come back here, go ahead. Yeah, Calvin, you're in the 515 room. I'll send you
Can you
that.
send me the link?
Here you go, Calvin. Okay. Okay. Welcome, y'all. So we got Tara, Devin, Joanne. Now we did have Tico scheduled as well, but we can go ahead and get started. All right. So welcome, y'all. Looking forward to hearing your pieces. Give me 1 second to get our second. All right. So let's maybe start out. Let me look at our make sure I got everyone in attendance. Oh wait, is Joanna not here?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, okay. It's just sorry, I was looking at the view where it only shows the live cameras. All right, terrific. So Joanna, are you ready? Can you start us out and just make sure everybody you've got your original sound on? If you're on an iPad, it can be a little tricky. And then go ahead and when you're ready to when it's your turn to go, just tell us the name of your piece. And then you can start playing whenever you're ready, okay?
Um,
All right. So Joanna, you ready?
yeah.
Okay. What are you playing for us?
My name is Joanna and I'm playing the Erie Canal.
All right, awesome. Oh, great. Nice work. Okay. Really well done, Joanna. Yeah, so what again, this sounded really good. Very all the rhythms were very secure, sounded really confident, so nicely done. we've got a little, we only got 3 people in the program. Can you tell us a little bit about, in your experience of preparing this piece, what was something you had to work at as you were practicing this piece?
I think it was like in the third line, like where it's like on the ear canal. I had to work on my fingering and matching up my like left hand with my right hand.
Oh yeah, yeah, it gets tricky because there's that change of direction in the right hand line, right? Where da 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 da
Yeah.
going to and from E, and then your left hand's coming in at the same. Yeah, so a lot of like hand direction type coordination. Yeah, I see that can be tricky. But that sounded really good. Um, what was something you thought you went well in your performance? I mean, it was all sounded good, but I'm just
Um,
curious about your perspective.
maybe just like I kind of like the way I did like the actually probably the hardest part too. Like I think it went pretty well. Like the part I had.
Oh yeah, the part so you were most pleased about the part that you had to work on went really well. Okay,
Yeah.
great. No, that's terrific. And yeah, there's some syncopations in here in the right hand where where basically you're hitting a note on an and then you have to hold it through, the counts. That can be really tricky, but all the rhythms were spot on too. All right. Thank you, Joanna. Nicely done. Great job. All right, so let's move on to all right, still waiting to see if Tico is gonna make it. We'll see. Um, let's move on to Devin. Are you ready to play for us?
Yeah,
All right, and what will we be playing today?
I'll be playing classical sonatina,
Oh,
a
terrific.
classic sonatina.
All right, nice. right, nicely done. Great job, Devin.
Thank you.
All right, that was great. Okay, and all three that was a nice concentration doing all three movements there in a row. Really, yeah, really a lot of nice details here in terms of the dynamics and you know, obviously you've done a lot of work memorizing it and really getting all of the notes and rhythms very clean. So really nicely done. So can you tell us a little bit? So what was the trickiest part? You know, I'm gonna ask you the same question. So what was something that was particularly difficult as you were learning this?
So, in the second movement on
Mhm.
Dante, we had to practice a lot about the counting and holding for like
Mm.
all like the dotted half notes, all three beats, and also like how you push into the keys to make it a better sound, not
Mm.
like just dropping your hands on them. Yeah. So
Yeah, nice. Okay, yeah. So keeping, yeah, sometimes right, we may not think of it right, but sometimes playing a slow movement is very difficult, and playing soft
yeah,
dynamics are sometimes more difficult than playing loud, right? So yeah, so nice. I thought that really worked well.
yeah.
And you got a nice legato sound in that second movement.
Mhm.
Um, all right. So one thing to check, you know, the last movement was terrific. Um, one thing we can do, so like at measure, you know, at measure 5, for example, right? You see this, so something to do to get this. That's a pretty tricky, right? You were taking a nice so that was our quarter note, so that's pretty fast, right? So we kind of were taking it at the half note pulse there, dun, 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 dun. So that really nice. When you do it right, these can get tricky, these little, you know, sort of this little kind of galloping rhythm here, measure 5. How are you so how are you how are you tackling that? How are you approaching that um when you're taking this fast tempo? What
So
kind of how are you motion wise, right? What are you physically doing to kind of
like I think after I finish, I just like well my left hand's already in the same spot, so I just like do my
mm.
right hand, and then I like try to go like this, like I just gonna like sort of down and up.
Yeah, oh, that's right. So yeah, to get the slur, that's good. Yeah, doing the motion, feel like you're sinking down and lifting up. So let me try one thing for me. I think this will help a little bit because this gets tricky when it's this kind of rhythms fast. So play let's say, you know, just take the right hand and measure 5. Play all 3 different notes it plays at one time. So take like all 3 fingers and play C, D, and E at one time.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So I want you to feel how your hand is set to play all those 3 at the same time, right? So feel exactly where your fingertips are, like the shape of your fingers, the shape of your hand, right? Now, remember, have your hand kind of remember that shape. And it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be like totally stiff in your hand, but keep your fingers pretty firm in that shape so that the fingertips are all right where they need to be. And then, you know, use your finger motion a little bit to get them out, but keep your fingertips all really tight in there, and use your hand a little bit too to help you. So try that one more time. Can you try right on that with just your right hand? Yeah. Yeah, right. So did you feel like it sounded like you had a little bit more control over that, right?
Yeah.
And don't lift too early. Like make sure you connect with the E, if that makes sense. Make sure your third finger connects a little more with that E. Try it one more time. Yeah, good. And that'll get tricky with your fourth fingers, right? So you could try the same sort of practice method with that. Play them all at the same time, kind of feel where your fingers have to be, especially that fourth finger, right? And then get it ready. So instead of having them just kind of hanging out and trying to bring each finger in when it's time, really practice so that you feel your hand sort of starts to learn where your fingers have to be set all ready to go. Does that make sense? Because that's already sounding a
Yeah.
little bit more, right? You got a little bit more control over that now, right?
Yeah.
Nice. And so that, yeah, that sounded terrific. Really, really nicely done, Devin. Great work. All right, so let's go to wait, hold on. Oh, Tara, you need to play. All right. So what are you going to be playing for us, Tara?
I'm going to be playing Love Me Like You Do, and I just wanted to let you know that me and my teacher kind of changed up, so it's not exactly like the
Okay, you elaborated some things. Okay, that's totally fine.
I'm going to be playing it memorized.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody else can watch your music here. Follow along here. All right, nicely done.
Thank you.
Great job, Tara.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, one second, my camera did something with the screen. Um, okay, so tell us about some of the things as you were working on this. Tell us about some things you did to elaborate this, because I mean, it's kind of nice to see the written music, so then we can see what you're adding. But tell us about some of the things you worked on to add this.
This actually is one of my favorite songs, so I requested my teacher to learn how to play this.
Okay.
And so, like, why I elaborated it is because it was like just chords. And it didn't sound much like the piece, so I asked her if we could elaborate it. So I just did the same. I did the same majors or minors, and then I just made it into like different like. So each time it would go like that, and then um, like that, and then the it go like so it'd be like C G if you're doing it in C major, it'd be C G C D E, and then the next time to like make it alternative, and if it was E minor, then it would be E B E B. So I tried to alternate it to
Oh,
make
good.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's you added basically, right? You take a pattern that's sitting in a certain chord. When you change chord, right? You can sometimes, right? You just import that same pattern to the different chord tones, right? So yeah, good. Yeah, I could tell. So that was great. I can also tell you embellished your right hand too a little bit at some parts, but yeah, you really knew the song. I like that. So as everyone, if y'all, each one of you, as you get the chance to maybe look at some of the pop music, it's a little bit different in the sense that exactly like you were doing, Tara, right? So probably the actual right, the actual recording of this song, which is probably like what, like that's what exists first in pop music sometimes, right? Is they they get everybody, everybody might have a very minimal like chord chart, maybe if they even have that, and then they all just kind of learn the song, and then you produce, you bring in the different uh,
Mm-hmm.
elements of production, you make the recording. So remember, like what you might see on the piano is sometimes just like an outline of the the main, like sort of the main parts of the song that you need. So you've got like probably the melody, and you've got some, right, you got some really simple, maybe just the bass line or just the chords. So yeah, this was great. So when you were saying it doesn't sound like they're recording, I could sense what you were doing is some of that you were trying to represent more of the actual parts that are going on in the recording of the song, right? So um you're making the whole texture that you're playing a little bit more fancy, a little bit richer, right? So that's one big element is you were adding the pattern, right? So we can call that pattern. Sometimes that's called a figuration.
Ah,
Is it like a note, right? Just a little movement or a note pattern that is making a chord fancy, right? So Alberti bass is a in classical music, you'll see, because you'll see it written out, and if it's a classical, right? So something, and you just can move that pattern to fit in different chords, but it makes a fancier accompaniment than just playing the chord, right? So um yeah, just keep in mind that when you all are going to work off a notated pop music, sometimes all they give you is like the really plain outline of it. It's not like fully written out the way that maybe some of these classical pieces would be. So yeah, so really nicely done. Um, and I can tell you really had a sense for the whole recording of the songs. That was really nicely done. All right, thanks, y'all. I think we're gonna end it there. I don't think Tico made it. That's okay. I'll give it. But thanks, y'all. I'll see you later. Have a good rest of your Friday. Okay, thank you all for playing. Great work.